Hey, if you're like me, then you mostly don't know that there was a video game series called Wipeout. No, not the game show. I'll tell you what it is. The game takes place in the near future. You play as various racers in the game. What a lot of people don't know is that there's was only supposed to be one game in the series. Over time, I've been a huge fan of Thomas and Friends and more TV shows. I even was a fan of Soul Calibur. What you should know is that I only have a grandpa and grandmother. My parents were diagnosed with brain cancer. My grandparents and I moved to Nebraska and I'm living a good life. I became a huge fan of Wipeout games myself ever since I found someone playing a demo of it at a GameStop. When I was in college, talking about Wipeout to my friends, they told me about a missing copy of the game. I didn't believe them. I was walking home from college and I saw this DVD on the sidewalk that said Wipeout RC Fury. Curious, I thought. A new game. I picked it up and put it in my backpack. When I got home, I wanted to see what was on it, but I waited for my 4-year-old sister to come home from daycare, so I did. After I picked her up, I went to my room and I put the disc in my PlayStation 3 because Wipeout is a PlayStation game. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was Wipeout HD Fury. I was like, awesome, because like I said earlier, I'm a huge fan of Wipeout. The first thing I noticed was that when I was out of class was when I pressed start, there was a split second when I saw the title image turn to something much different, something that I now consider horrifying, before cutting to black. My parents rang me up and told me they were going to be out all night, so this is going to be the best opportunity to play the game all night. I did not mention it to them, and as soon as I hung up, I grabbed the game and stuck it back to my PS3. As soon as it loaded, I noticed that all the buttons were switched, which sent a deep chill down my back. Since my sister was now asleep, I plugged in my earbuds so she could sleep without having to hear anything. The second thing I noticed was that the background was awful. It looked like Mirage was having sex with Goteki 45 for some reason. Mirage looked angry, like something bad had happened. Goteki 45 looked depressed, and Mirage was yelling at her, even though she didn't do anything. I was confused by his background, and I could tell the other interns were thinking the same way. However, things changed for the second time. The only stages you could play on were Veneta K, Anopa Pass, and Ubermalt. It's horrible. I could only play as Orcom. Veneta K looked much different. The sky was red, the color of the rail was black, and all people were leaving. There was a sound saying, "It's the bear! It's the bear, and I'm coming!" Then number 42 showed up and began twisting and convulsing. It started to grow its arm and legs, thrusting this way and that. The number wasn't a number anymore. What was annoying is that I had to finish the race within 0 minutes, 0 seconds, and 50 seconds. However you pronounce that. I pressed many buttons and then the countdown disappears and I essentially got infinity laps. I decided to race 7 laps. After being 7 laps, the entire map starts turning blood red. I could see dead race cars on the track, which was so horrifying. The narrator said, "Fuck you and your family. I'll marry your sister who is sleeping." I took the game out and immediately called 911. The police arrived and I sat on my front porch waiting for the British woman to arrive at my house. I saw her walking near a forest. I grabbed my machine gun and told her to put her hands in the air. The police got an electric stinger that electrocuted her. She was arrested for life and lost her job at PlayStation. After all this happened, things got out of hand. I got arachnophobia and now I'm afraid of spiders. After that, I had to see a therapist. Nobody except my grandparents believes in what I saw. My friend Miguel now has a condition where he doesn't sleep a lot. His brother is always trying to calm him down to make him sleep. Gabby is now very crude and like gore. She is mean to certain people. My grandmother now somehow works as a nun. Last, my grandfather got into a car crash on his way to work. He now is on a wheelchair and can't walk. I wish this never happened. The game got smashed into bits by me. That Wipeout game is when family is like this. At least it's gone now.